I'm closing in. We're golden.
Collect. Oh! And Matt Field makes contact. He knew he had to risk it or no biscuit.
What up? I'm Matt Field.
I'm Bakchis, and this is my car.
And this is my car. Don't get me wrong, I want to beat everybody out there, but there's one guy in particular.
He's a great teammate, but an even better friend to me.
So we're here in St. Louis, the 6th round of the Formula Drift Tour. It's a new track that brings its own set of new challenges. Teams, car, tires, everything are really put to the test. All of us are new here, so the people that are going to excel are the people that are going to be the best at adapting.
Looking forward to it. It's got a hole in it already. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it does, dude.
Really?
Yeah, you give him the feedback, man.
Too f***ing yoked, Odie!
Well, don't be buying extra smalls.
He's just jealous.
He got a dad bod. 35-year-old dad bod. Dad bod.
Today's my birthday, so it's very special. I loved having my team, my family, doing exactly what I love to do. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but here right now.
I think it's like one of the sports that you can be old and crusty, but you get wise. Because there's not so much like reaction time in drifting. It's just like decision time.
I see like successful like CEOs and stuff that pick up racing in their 40s. And they're just so calculated about it, and they're like, they just somehow make it work.
It's not like get old and it's time to retire. I think you can drift well into your 40s. So you got something to look forward to, Odie.
Yeah.
You're 35.
Gateway Motorsports Park is the mecca of all drifting in the Midwest. Nobody wants to skip when it's track day on the infield. As far as grassroots drifting goes, getting out to this track was a dream for everybody that had stock SRs and KA cars and stuff at the time. You have to be a good driver to link this track. If you go off the track, you're in trouble.
We've never been out here before. Odie has never driven on this track. We tried our best to get an idea of distances and have the sharpness of the turns before we even got out here. It's important to have a good spotter so that Odie knows exactly where he is. I get to tell him what someone else is looking like on the track. He only knows what he is hearing and feeling from the inside of the car. So once the cars get going and initiate, they hit a first inner clip, transition into a second inner clip, and then have a straightaway, which is high-speed, fast area where they hit a second transition into a touch and go. After the touch and go, they head straight towards the third inner clip, decel briefly into the first outer zone. There have been some difficulties. Even some of the highest ranked drivers have not been qualifying very high. It's going to be a tough day. He's going to have to really battle, which means he's going to have to be on each clip, on throttle as much as he can.
Bakchis, his Falcon tires.
You can see he gets that nice initiation there. Great job on that first inside clip.
Right now, we're just over the halfway point of the season, and I'm sitting in 9th place. I definitely feel like I got to make up some points. You know, I'm just going to keep doing what I have to do and pushing hard.
Right on the line all the way through.
Nice job there from Bakchis.
In Formula Drift, if you're not changing the car and progressing lap after lap, you're falling behind.
Here we go, talk about luck. Let's make a wish with Matt Field at Falcon Tires. Corvette really tight past that final front clip.
I think a lot of people might look at my driving style and maybe a little bit of a wild man, but honestly, it's much more calculated than that. Instead of wasting 4 or 5 laps, I'll do 1 or 2, make a big change.
Very deep, almost camouflaging that final outside clip with the Falcon Tire smoke.
How'd you do, Matt? 95. Yep. You got 95 on your first run. I got a 93.
Damn, that's really good.
It's okay. You know, I qualified 4th, but what was icing on the cake is that Taylor Hull came up to me and said, hey, I cannot get my car running, and I'm just not going to be able to run. Now I know I have a bye run going into top 16. I could feel out my car and be totally at ease. It's always a nice feeling to go straight into top 16.
Going into the last run of practice, we actually made a pretty big change. That was the run that I followed Odie. We're golden. The car reacted differently, but it reacted better. Kind of a wild run, but I knew that the places in the track that I was able to charge, it was good. We would come back, we review the data, and we figure, all right, we're gonna try it. We're gonna give it a go on our buy run.
Matt Field up to the line in this Wish Falcon Tires Corvette. This is a buy run for him. He qualified second.
On the buy run, instantly it showed 5 miles an hour faster at certain points of the track. Overall for the run, about a second faster. That's huge gains. We were like, all right, we're on the right track.
Forrest and Matt started their driving careers at fairly similar times.
Forrest Wang lunges forward.
His driving style is big angle. He's usually always on line. He's never an easy battle.
It kind of draws a little bit of an interesting line through that final section.
This weekend, he's been looking a little tight, having some troubles rotating the car. If guys are having some difficulties on track, you never know when they're going to figure something out and turn it up, or if that's going to be the trend of how their weekend's running.
Matt versus Wang is always an exciting battle because the thing is you know when Matt gets on anyway, it's something to watch.
Oh, and Field goes into the side of Forrest Wang.
Going into top 16 battle with Forrest Wang, we knew he was gonna be fast. Wasn't sure where we stacked up. Definitely a battle that I was worried about. It's never confidence inspiring when you know that you have a possibility of getting walked.
Here we go, Matt Field, Forrest Wang. This battle should be fun to watch. So there from Matt Field, Forrest Wang into that outer zone. You see Forrest Wang kind of exceeding the nose there of Matt Field, but Matt Field goes all the way to the outside. Whoa! That got a little hairy there.
There's a lot of lessons that I've learned battling Forrest throughout the years. Different drivers do better at different tracks. What's going on this weekend right now, last run, is what's important.
And away they go. Forrest Wang initiates, as does the beast from the Bay, Matt Field. Now into the touch and go. Whoa, Matt Field! Little pucker effect, he lunged forward.
And I have a damn good spotter, and he totally set me up. Because if he wouldn't have told me, Forrest does this here, and this here, and this here, I would have ran into him and we would have lost the battle.
Matt Field gets the win.
In drifting, you need a car that's basically like Legos. You can just piece together. The best car for that is the Nissan 240 SX. You can buy parts off the shelf by just observing what combination of parts work well. You get this, a really fast, fun car to drive. I chose a LS style V8. It's actually a CBM built block. Everything's aftermarket. There's nothing GM necessarily in this engine. You throw a Wisefab angle kit on it, the thing just becomes insane. Field suspension coilovers make this thing go over any type of terrain, so you can just really stay committed. S chassis are pretty small cars, but when you look under the hood and back here, there's actually tons of space to put a big radiator in the back and shifting the weight to the back of the car so we can load their tires and get a bunch of traction. I've competed in S14 since 2011. I've won in this car, podium multiple times in this car. I love this thing. Now we're going into top 16. I know I have to battle with Peter Vicek, and he's a solid driver, so I know his car is fast because I've set up his coilovers with my company, Field Suspension, and know that I gotta expect a really fast and precise run from him.
Good luck, man, you got it.
Honestly, I'd rather battle someone like Peter, because I know I could just drive as hard as I possibly want to.
Wow, Bakchis right there.
I beat Vicek, he's beat me. Peter qualified a little bit lower, so that gives me the confidence to be able to lay down at least solid lead runs.
Peter's a very good driver, very fast. We've been chasing him all year. This is the time we're going to get him.
Nobody really knows this, but half the time Peter's out there driving, it's actually James driving, but we got to keep that on the down low.
Basically, this top 16 battle is like a final battle. Peter's that caliber of a driver.